going on, everybody? I go by the name of Curry, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish. I feel like Adidas is kind of in Nike 2017 mode with the power moves they've been pulling lately, even though Nike's got a little something for them. Anyway, today we're going to talk about all that and take a look at the newest iteration of the Yeezy 350 V2. Without further ado, let's get into it. I don't even know what the point is in even showing y'all the box anymore. They literally will do nothing different with the box ever. They will literally do this box forever. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 version 2 in clay. We're talking clay, but I'm not talking about Clay Aiken. Anyway. All right, guys, so let's talk a little bit about this sneaker and what made it such a unique drop for Adidas. The Yeezy 350 version 2 Clay was actually the last in a trifecta of sneakers that Adidas released in a very unique rollout that was called location-based releases. What that means is 3 very different colorways that somewhat kind of resembled one another, but were also very different in their own right, were released in different regions of the world. For instance, there were 3 colorways that dropped. The Hyperspace, which was location locked around Africa. There was the True Form that was location based around Europe, and the North American version of the shoe was the Clay. So these sneakers were only available for purchase and shipping within those respective places in the world. Now, obviously, we have platforms such as StockX and Goat that work on an international level. So if you really want to get your hands on all 3 of them, you can do so simply by going on there and purchasing a pair, but it's going to cost you. Let's take a deeper look at the sneaker, and then we'll get back to what makes this shoe so unique, along with the rollout of the new Beyoncé deal. All right, starting with the upper of the shoe. Again, nothing different. Same Yeezy 350 version 2 you guys have seen over and over again. Of course, the difference here is the colors, and that's where you have this nice brown clay color that's going all the way down the upper of the sneaker. Still prime knit upper, really nice, super comfortable. Still 3M stripes along the inside of the collar on the back of the shoe as well. Now, moving down on the lateral side of the sneaker, you have this translucent strip here. Now, inside of that translucent strip here, we start to see this pop of orange coming out. Now, what's interesting about the way that they did these colors is that they almost look like a sunset. It's really nice here, because even though I know it's an orange color primarily, somehow the way that they did this and they formed it along with that brown, maybe the way that that orange and that brown meets up, almost gives it a pinkish hue or a purple hue. So it kind of makes it look like a sunset. I really like the way that these colors came together. Of course, you can see that much more pronounced on the lateral and medial side of the midsole, which goes down into the outsole of the sneaker as well. Underneath that translucent midsole material, you can see all these colors kind of blending together to make that really nice, almost pinkish hue. Moving along to the heel of the shoe, you can see that orange much more pronounced in a more raw state here. Really bright neon orange that pops really hard against that brown, but actually it works. Not quite sure how it works, but it works. Regular clay colored laces on the shoe as well to match the upper of the sneaker. Going back to the upper of the sneaker real quick as well, usually we get another color that's woven in between the fibers of the prominent color here. This time we kind of get this muted, more neutral brown, almost gray color here that's mixed in with the more pronounced, more brown clay color here, and honestly it works really nicely. Clay colored insole with that Adidas Yeezy branding on the heel. As far as the outsole of the sneaker here, same Yeezy 350 translucent outsole here, Adidas branding on the forefront of the shoe, Boost branding on the heel of the shoe as well. And that's pretty much it as far as the sneaker itself is concerned. Now, as far as the rollout and how Adidas actually got this one right, we all know that supply and demand are what equates to the value of a sneaker, especially on the resale market. For a lot of the latest Yeezy releases, we've been seeing 2 major problems that Adidas has had. The shoe was either too expensive or it was too available. And for all the resellers that were really upset with the Yeezy models and all but had given up on the Yeezy model as a whole because they just were losing so much money in the shoe. 350s were available nationwide in one colorway, so there was way too much access to the sneaker, which killed the market. Or you had the Yeezy 700s that were dropping at $300 a piece, and unless you're Benjamin Kicks or somebody with a lot of money, you're not out here spending that kind of bread on a sneaker over and over again in a couple of months. But then Adidas cooked up this idea. Why don't we just lock the location and the availability of the shoe to one specific region of the world? And it worked. Right now on the resale market, brackets, the clay is going for upwards of double its retail price, depending on what size you can get your hands on. Smaller sizes, or bay sizes is what a lot of the kids call them these days, happen to be going for the most money, and these are actually going to cost you somewhere between $400 to $450 right now if you want a smaller version of the shoe. If you want a bigger size in the shoe, it's still going to cost you a smooth $350 depending on what size you need. So how did this happen? Again, demand overtook supply. There was a global demand for the Clay 350, the Hyperspace, and the True Form, but the supply was only locked to that specific region, and so everybody in that region ate up all the pairs and were able to charge them at a premium. And that's why sometimes people say that sneakers are a buyer's market and sometimes sneakers are a seller's market. It really just depends on what the sneaker is, but the people who are really pulling the strings are the brands. Like I said, this rollout was actually a very smart strategy for Adidas, and I hope to see them do it more in the future if they want to start increasing the demand of the Yeezy brand. It's incredible what putting some different colors on the exact same sneaker can do to demand on a sneaker, right? Now, on top of that, it was recently announced that Adidas just signed a brand new deal with Beyoncé, of all people, the queen herself, in which she'll have full creative control over her new line that's going to be coming out, as well as the relaunch of her old line, Ivy Park. And the early term that the sneaker world has given to the new sneaker Beyoncé will be coming out with is BEYONCE. So, will BEYONCE overtake Yeezys? We shall see. Anyway. All right, guys, that's pretty much it as far as what I got for the sneaker and what's going on today. Sound off down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the Yeezy Boost 350 Clay. Were you able to get your hands on a pair of these, or were you one of the unfortunate people that took the L? Everybody was trying to get a pair of these. I know the bots were probably running crazy that day. I didn't use a bot. I don't use a bot, at least right now. And I was able to get these manually off of the website. So it was a win. It was a W for me. But man, these were tough to get. Of course, while you're down there in the comments letting me know what you think about these, be sure to click on that little subscribe button down there to welcome yourself into the Sneaker Fetish family. We would love to have you here to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through here, because I guarantee you, I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 version 2 in clay. And until next time, I'm out.